Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to SoulSpace podcast number 146.
Welcome. It's another good one for the month of May.
It is our last one for May.
No, wait. April.
April.
My
Never
bad.
mind.
Our last one for April. We're starting May this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week will be in May. So today we're going to do spring into your potential, no excuses.
None.
I love this topic. And I'm a procrastinator a lot of times, and I try not to use excuses, but sometimes, everybody falls back once in a while.
Everybody uses excuses
Yeah.
now and then.
Yeah.
It's a common thing to do. That's
Right.
why it's such an important topic.
Yeah. But it is one thing that I have learned through personal development stuff. Just you don't need to use an excuse, you just didn't do it. Big deal, or whatever it is. And I did learn that through a mentor that I had that coached about that a lot. And they would say, it doesn't matter if you didn't do something when you were supposed to, or when you said you were gonna. Really, when you say you're gonna do something, you should. But if you didn't for some reason, don't, they didn't care about the excuse. Always just say, I didn't do it. You don't need to give the reason, give the excuse, whatever. You just didn't do it, because that's what's true. You just didn't do it, and it's on you. It's not on anybody else. You can't blame someone else for
Right.
whatever.
Whether you take action or you want to make an excuse through inaction,
Right.
either way, own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, is like, either you did something or you didn't, like you said. But if you own it, if you say, yes, that's what I did, it can help you to realize, okay, well, what I choose to do or not do is on me.
Right.
But also, by not making an excuse, a lot of people feel like they have to explain themselves.
I know. Yeah.
You don't have to explain yourself to anyone else.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't have to explain it. You say,
Mhm.
I apologize. I didn't get to it, but I'm more than happy to continue to put it on my list for next week or whatever,
Yeah.
And if you didn't do something that you wanted to do for yourself, own that too. Don't make an excuse for yourself. Like, I was tired, or whatever. Of course you were.
Yeah.
Otherwise you would have had it done, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is that the excuse is, it's like, okay, well, I own that I didn't do that. Do I still want to do it? Do I not want to do it? Is there a reason that I'm not doing it? Is there something that's holding me back?
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes people just procrastinate because they're overwhelmed. And that's the most common.
It is
being overwhelmed.
And that's my most common denominator, is if I get overwhelmed, then I freeze. I don't do anything, but just we don't have to explain ourselves all the time. It's needless talking about stuff,
Right.
that doesn't matter.
And it's the best thing to do is to underpromise and overdeliver.
Right.
Overpromising and underdelivering to anyone, including yourself, doesn't help you.
No.
Right. And then you feel the need to make excuses, and then an excuse begets another excuse, begets another excuse, because you're still overwhelmed, because your list is still just as long as it was before.
And it's getting longer if you keep doing that.
Yeah, procrastination makes your list longer.
Right.
And that feels worse.
Yeah.
But, one thing that I like to do is I like to make a list of the things that I want to get done and just check them off one at a time. And that feels much better.
It does. Yeah.
And we'll talk about one of the ways to combat overwhelm later.
Right.
In our podcast.
I love that. Yeah. I love what's coming up.
Yes.
Later. Yeah. Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Wayne Dyer. Another one of our faves.
Do love Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Yeah. He is, I think he was no, I shouldn't say that. Tony Robbins was my first person that I followed in self-development. Wayne Dyer was one that got me through a really rough time by reading. I found a book of his called there's a spiritual answer to every problem or something like that, was the first book of his that I read. And he was on The Secret.
Yep.
And I started really following him after I saw that movie. But I started reading his books when I found one in the library in my hometown a long time ago, over 20 years ago, probably 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then it starts. When you find a couple people that you love. Tony Robbins is one that I've followed for, I bet, since the 90s, because my youngest was a baby, a little kid when I started following him. And it's like, oh, this is some good stuff. Why haven't I heard it before? But
I love Tony Robbins too.
Yeah. And like we talked about earlier, before we started the podcast, it's about getting out of your box, going beyond what you know and learning more. And that's what I love about life. Just expanding into different topics and different subjects and different ways to live. That has been a thriving thing for me for many, many years. So, yeah.
Being open to learning and being open to creating more in your life.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. When you're open to the new, when you're open to learning, I mean, what else is there?
I know. It makes life so much more exciting and fun.
Because there's always more.
Right. Yeah.
And who doesn't want that?
It's so good.
We all do.
Yeah. So that's why we love to share this with you, because we get so excited about it.
We do. We are passionate about what we do.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And it's great.
It's
So
true.
let's read a little bit about Excuses Begone.
So we're using this book today, which we've never used before, Excuses Begone by Dr. Wayne Dyer. How to Change Lifelong Self-Defeating Thinking Habits. So this is, if you're looking for that, this would be a good one.
This is a really good one. And
good one.
It would be a good book study someday. Book club. We need to start a book club.
We should just start a book club.
Yes.
We have not started a book club yet.
Yes.
But that's great.
Yeah.
The SoulSpace book club.
Right.
Next
that
chapter.
Just rolls right off your tongue.
Really
doesn't
does.
it? We need to do that.
Okay. Next project.
Yeah.
So if you do have this book by some happy circumstance, we are on chapter 15. And so this is kind of nearing the end of the book. So it might reference some of the parts before, but the chapter is entitled The Fourth Question. What would my life look like if I couldn't use excuses?
That's a good question, isn't it?
An excellent question. And it's interesting to think about. If you didn't allow yourself to use excuses at all, what would that look like? What would that feel like? I kind of feel like if you went a whole day trying not to use any excuses at all, that might be really interesting to see where you're starting from.
Right.
Because
a lot of times we do it without even thinking.
Yeah, we're not even paying attention.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
When we start to pay attention to thoughts and the words that you use, it can make a huge difference in how you begin to change what you do.
Yeah.
So it starts with a quote. It says, "What is now proved was once only imagined." William Blake. In the fourth question of the Excuses Begone paradigm, you switch into the powerful world of your own imagination. The observation above from English poet William Blake reveals an important truth. The things that you take for granted and treat as gospel were initially imagined. Just as the cell phone had to first be an idea before it became a reality, the same is true of everything you encounter in life. Imagination is crucial in order to bring things from the world of non-being into the world of being. Jesus of Nazareth said that it's the spirit that gives life. And Lao Tzu said that all being comes from non-being. What was good enough for these two spiritual giants to embrace has immeasurable importance for you as well. This pathway from non-being or spirit to the world of an excuses begone existence originates in your imagination. I love to remind myself of this mind-blowing idea that I touched upon in chapter 11. An infinity of forest lies dormant within the dreams of one acorn.
Mm.
Even a forest needs a vision, a dream, an idea, indeed a fertile imagination. This chapter is designed to help you do the same kind of work as one little acorn, which has an entire forest to create. You have within you the power to create a series of ideas for yourself that will erase obstacles to your highest calling. When you imagine that you're free of any need to use excuses, you'll ultimately act on what you're imagining. So practice the process of envisioning precisely what your life would look like and feel like if it were impossible to enlist your excuse patterns. A good way to begin is by getting accustomed to visualizing exactly who you are as if you've already arrived.
Mm.
That small little collection of sentences
Right.
has some impact.
It is huge. Yes.
Just thinking about how one acorn eventually creates a forest by reaching its potential.
Yeah.
Imagine how that one idea, that one seed
Yeah.
can become vast,
Right.
bigger than you ever imagined.
Yeah. And imagine if we would do the same. If we lived up to even a fourth of our potential and did the things that we're capable of doing, imagine how different our life would be.
And I think it's really interesting to think about if you took away from yourself the ability to make an excuse about something,
Right.
how many more things would you do just knowing that you couldn't make an excuse?
Yeah.
Like that was off the table.
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful idea. That's a
Mhm.
powerful
Mhm.
thought to think about. If I couldn't make an excuse about it to anyone, including myself,
Yeah.
how many more things would I do? Because I would be like, I can't explain myself about it.
Right.
So I better get it done because
Yeah.
I can't make an explanation later about why I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a really good thing to live your life by. Um, even though it's something that we sometimes don't even think about. It wouldn't even dawn on us to quit making excuses for things,
Right.
Um, until you call someone out on it or call yourself out on it, more importantly, yourself, because you might be doing it without even thinking.
Right. And there's a lot of things we do without thinking about it. And our
Right.
subconscious runs 90% of the show.
Yeah.
So once we start paying attention, that allows us to see the patterns so that we can begin to change the ones that aren't serving us.
Yeah. 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 So good.
Such a powerful idea.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks, Dr. Dyer. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Seeing who we want to be as already here. And we've talked about this quite a bit lately in the
yes.
podcast. So let's see what he has to say about this. Let's look further at the quote that opens this chapter, along with implications of breaking our excuse-making habit. Our poet friend, Mr. Blake, is saying that we imagine this self-limiting ideas before they became facts in our life. Memetics, genetics, early childhood reinforcements, cultural conditioning, and years of thinking limiting thoughts joined forces to become the excuses that have come to feel like reality. If Blake's observation is true for you, its corollary applies as well. In other words, if you make the excuses begone, shift and hold fast to its ideas, then you prove to yourself just how powerful your imagination is. This is why I included the words already here concerning the way you want to see yourself. Excuse me. For all intents and purposes, what you actively imagine is authentically and undeniably already here. So you can absolutely change from self-defeating excuses to self-enhancing actions. Once your new thinking habits are truly in place, it's the same as saying that you're already actualizing what you want. When I was in my 20s, I used the imagination practice on the excuse, I'm too tired. I'd heard this so frequently that it finally became a mind virus. I love that phrase, mind virus, because we do that so much. And I'm tired, I'm tired. We hear that so
hear it
often
a lot
from everybody.
Yes.
I mimicked and employed regularly. So he started doing it too because he heard it so much. It was a convenient but deliberate, debilitating excuse because thinking and talking about how tired I was made me more fatigued than I actually was. The more I said the words, I'm tired, the more my energy seemed to be depleted, even when there was no physical reason behind this. One morning, after listening to a friend tell me that he was too exhausted to carry out a planned weekend retreat, I decided to end my use of this excuse permanently. I pledged to never again tell others or myself how tired I was, and I began to imagine myself in possession of unlimited energy. I didn't change my sleep habits, take energy supplements, or change my lifestyle. All I did was imagine myself as a high energy person. I was able to change the way I viewed myself in relationship to fatigue and started to see myself as a never tired person. This all started with a new thought, which was placed first in my imagination. And to this day, some 40 years later, I've steadfastly refused to even think I'm tired. One of Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays includes the line that always made an impact on me. Imagination is a very high sort of seeing. To me, this is seeing with a capital S. Seeing myself with boundless energy all those years ago, seeing myself with boundless energy all those years ago allowed me to eliminate the obstacles of fatigue and energy depletion, and I created a new me in those imaginative moments. So good. I love that. And if you think of things, that we say to ourselves all the time, notice that. And next time it comes out of your mouth, make sure you just kind of make that mind shift and say, okay, that's what I've been saying. I don't want to believe that anymore.
Right.
And change it up, switch that around. Catch yourself before you say it next time.
Right. When you say something, a good question to ask yourself, is that thought serving me?
Right.
Is that thought serving what I want for my life?
Yeah.
Or is it not?
Yeah.
And this is one that I am guilty of, and I go through times where I'm better, and I go through times where I say it a lot. And one thing that I like to say to myself is because I know that it's still a program that I haven't fully rid myself of yet.
Yeah.
And so when I catch myself saying it, I do the flip the script, and I flip the script and say, I have all the energy I want and need to do all of the things that I want and need to do.
Yeah.
And for me, I really like that, and it makes me feel really good when I think it. And then if I feel fatigued, I can ask for more energy, and I do, and I always feel better.
Right.
And so, asking it is given. And I know that. And when I allow it into my being, then I do really well. Like I can do, 3 weekends in a row of expos and classes and work 6+ days a week and still go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
And work a full day and see my clients after. And it's like, I have been working really hard on that because there was a time where I didn't have all that energy. And I'm like, I want all the energy to do all the things that I want to do. And so I need to actively create that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not quite to where Dr. Dyer got yet, but I'm on my way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we're all a work in progress. I mean, we can't do it overnight.
But that's the excuse, isn't it?
Right, it is.
I'm too tired to do something.
Yeah.
How about I'm tired, but I'm doing it anyway?
Right.
Or how about
Yeah,
I have all the energy I need to do whatever I want to do, so I'm going to do it anyway.
yeah, yeah.
I know that I
Yeah.
have the energy I need to do it.
Yeah.
I'm capable of more than I think that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are.
And I am a work in progress, and that's why I know I can do it.
I can do it.
Yeah.
How about I can do it?
Yeah.
And I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
better.
pare
Right.
it all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah. Get rid
I
of all
can,
of the
and
extra.
I am. Like
Yeah.
people say, I can and I will, which is great.
Yeah.
But I can and I am is even better.
Is even
Bring it to
better.
now.
Yeah. 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 That's the key. Bring it to now.
Yes.
As if we're already done.
As if you already have it. Because you do.
Yeah.
As soon as you think it, you've already created it.
Yeah.
Let's bring it to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. This is such a good book. I need to get this one. I don't have this book. I need to get it.
It's
So
good.
I'm excited.
I
Okay.
need to read it again.
Book study.
Yeah.
I hear a book study.
I do too. Did somebody say book club?
Somebody said book club. I think we heard that somewhere.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Imagining your way to a life without excuses. I encourage you to actively examine the question, what would my life look like if I couldn't use these excuses? By giving yourself permission to let your imagination run wild. Envision something like a magical potion that doesn't permit you to think thoughts that have anything to do with excuses, and pay attention to what this visualization provokes within you. What would life look like? How would you feel? What alternative thoughts would you have? I'll take you through this exercise now, using several of the excuses from the 18-item catalog I detailed in Chapter 3. Number 1, it will be difficult or it will take a long time. So that's the excuse. These two similar excuses are frequently substituted for action. Now, imagine that you're incapable of creating these thoughts. In the same way that you can't imagine the mental activity of a jellyfish without ears or eyes that lives in the middle of the sea, neither can you conceive of a task as being difficult or taking a long time. So, if it were absolutely impossible for you to think this way, what would your life be like? Whatever it is you'd like to accomplish, be it becoming an artist, creating your own musical composition, starting a new business, repairing your relationship with your parents or spouse or anyone else, building a new home, getting into physical shape, anything at all. How would your world change if you couldn't even conceive of the idea that it would be difficult and or take a long time? Without these excuses, what would life look like? It's a safe bet that you would immediately initiate action, propelling you in the direction of the fulfillment of your dreams. You talk to others who had similar kinds of dreams and then emerged successfully. You'd have a lot of energy and you'd be actively engaged in the process of living the life you imagine. You'd attract synchronistic assistance and notice the right people, the right events, and the right circumstances persistently showing up. Why? Because you'd be acting just like the source of all creation does. You'd be aligned with the universe that says, yes, you can, and gives you the tools to prove it. You'd have no hesitation or fear that something would be difficult or take too long. You'd happily do rather than explain or complain. So pause there, because I think this is hugely important, because the universe doesn't say no.
Right.
The universe says whatever it is that you're putting out there, yes, 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 you can. I'll track things to you just like that. Yes, whatever it is that you're asking for, yes, 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 yes. And there isn't hesitation. The hesitation is within us.
Yeah.
The resistance is within us. The limitations are within us.
Right.
It has nothing to do with what's possible for you.
Yeah. And it's giving us whatever we think about most, good or bad. So if we are stuck in that excuse mode or negative mode, that's what we're attracting constantly.
Right. Especially if it will be difficult or take a long time.
Yeah,
If that's your mindset on it, then
Yes.
it will be difficult
yes,
and take a long time.
right, yeah. And why not instead think it's gonna be easy and it comes so fast?
It feels so good when it's easy.
Yeah,
I love
Yeah.
that it's easy.
right,
I'm so excited to see things easily happen for me.
yeah.
And I'm excited to see the breadcrumbs show up just in my path randomly, and it'll be delightful.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was it to think that for
Right.
5 seconds?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't. It felt good.
Mhm.
I like the
Changing
thought.
thoughts,
Oh, it's
that's
easy.
it.
It feels good to be in the flow.
Yeah, it really does.
I love when things just happen for me. That
Mhm.
feels wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Without these excuses, how would you feel? With these limitations completely out of the way, let me hazard a guess that you'd feel ecstatic and finally completely on purpose. A sense of freedom would delight you because avoidance of your true dharma would no longer exist. And dharma is basically like your purpose, your script for being here.
Mhm.
You'd feel enormous contentment rather than worrying about what you're avoiding or where you're going. There would be no focus on your destination since, quote, too long would no longer exist for you. And the now of the journey would provide the success and happiness you desire. You'd experience a great deal of bliss because you'd be guided by your creativity and initiative rather than fear of disappointment. And joy would rule your life.
Think about that. Joy would rule your life. How about that? Huh,
How about that?
I love that.
How about that?
Yeah. Always seek joy.
Mhm.
Always look for joy. Always trust the joy. When we stay in that and look for that always, do I want to do this or this? Which one brings you joy? Do that. You'll never regret that.
Right. And joy is attractive.
Yeah.
Joy is attractive to people, experiences, the things that you've been asking for,
Yeah.
on and on and on.
Yeah.
You want to be a super attractor? Live as much of your time as you can. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
Exactly. Without these excuses, what alternative thoughts would you have? Rather than focusing on what you can't do because it's difficult and takes a long time, you'd think like this. This is definitely something that I can and will create for myself. I know I can do anything I put my mind to. I anticipate that this is within my ability to readily accomplish. I have no fear because I recognize that whatever guidance and assistance I require is available. I'm excited, thrilled, and elated about fulfilling this dream. I realize that the thoughts I have are meshed with enthusiasm and passion, and that nothing can stop me. In fact, I'm certain that whatever I need to actualize my dreams is already on its way. I contentedly watch for what the universe sends me.
Mm,
Oh,
that's
I get a
so
little bit of
good.
goosebumps at the end of that.
I know.
I
That's
think
so
that
good.
this paragraph needs to like go on my dashboard and read it every time before I drive my car.
Good idea.
I think that would improve my
You can take a
driving
picture of it.
experience.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Love it. I love it.
Deep thoughts. Yeah. Okay, number 2. There will be a family drama. Again, I'm suggesting that you see yourself as utterly incapable of coming up with this excuse. Imagine that you can't conjure up even a single thought that forecasts any kind of familial disruption. Thinking in this way is equivalent to anticipating that your relatives are fine and with whatever decision you make. You absolutely will not experience resistance, criticism, hospitality, or rejection. Your family is, at the very least, neutral and perhaps even indifferent. There are no hassles or antagonisms, and no drama for you to deal with. Think about that at your next family gathering. That is amazing to think. I know a lot of people, don't get along with their family and have trouble with that or with those kinds of things. So That would be a good paragraph to read over and over if you are in that trouble.
Right.
Without this excuse, what would life look like? Since you'd no longer have to consider the ramifications of your family knowing the authentic you, your life would be exactly how you always wanted it to be. You'd never have to consult anyone whose opinion you didn't value. You choose the kind of work you prefer, study the subjects you wish to do, live where you pleased, and come and go as you determined, without a single moment of conflict or disapproval from your relatives. Disproving the popular saying that friends are God's way of apologizing for our relatives. Your family members would even become your close friends. I'm lucky to have that in my family, and I feel appreciative of that because a lot of people don't have that, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And when it said about you don't have to be, knowing the authentic you, I have never been able to not be authentic me, I don't think. But and that can be good, and it's always good. But I know where a lot of people don't feel that they can be themselves around others. And that makes me sad a lot of times.
Right. And I have hidden the majority of my life.
Right.
And hidden myself and been very private and didn't share who I was in any capacity.
Right.
With other people.
Yeah.
And so I understand where people are coming from on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I have finally come into allow who I am to be who I am all the time, life has opened up for me.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Why would I want to be anyone else around anyone else? Before I was just kind of shut down, shut off.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm just myself.
Yeah.
And how amazing it feels amazing.
Right. So do it.
Be yourself.
Be yourself
all the time.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
People love it. And the right people are then attracted to you.
Yeah.
And you begin to find your tribe because you're just you. Now,
Yeah.
if you see me anywhere, I am myself.
Yeah.
I am me 100%. And it's like, well, you like it or you don't like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to be around me. Bye.
Right. It's not my problem if you don't like me.
It's a you problem, not me problem.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
If we're not vibing, that's cool. You don't have to be around me.
And it shouldn't bother you if people aren't like you or aren't your kind of people. That's okay. That's why everybody's different and everybody has their own way of doing things and their own way to live.
Right. And the thing is that's really big about this is when you accept yourself, be yourself, other people will begin to accept you just as you also.
Right.
Or they'll fall away.
Right. And if you allow people to be who they are, which is a work, it's hard work. Sometimes we don't need that excuse, but we're taught in a way that we shouldn't, I don't know, allow that for others. But really, if everybody is allowed to be their self and do what they want to do, the world would be a much happier place. Right?
Rather than sitting and worrying about somebody else's judgment, if you're just yourself and all just yourselves, and none of us sits in judgment.
Right.
How much happier we all would be.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's just Tracy being herself.
Yeah.
We can just enjoy that for the moment.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Don't allow yourself to not judge others and to not judge yourself for being who you are.
Right.
Right. Yes. Okay. Without this excuse, how would you feel? You'd feel free because now drama could never be a consequence or following your bliss. I'm not good with words today, I'm sorry. Still in vacation mode, I
Yeah.
think.
It's all good. No judgment, right?
Yeah.
We're just enjoying the words of Mr. Dyer.
Right. Take a second now to imagine your family enthusiastically encouraging every decision that you make concerning your life. This is how you'll feel every day if it was impossible to entertain the thoughts that are the basis of this excuse. With everyone around you at peace, you'd feel the soothing effect of a harmonious and supportive environment. Anxiety and worry would disappear, and you'd feel in charge of your inner world, perhaps for the first time. That's a really good statement right there. Anxiety and worry would disappear, and you'd feel in charge of your inner world, perhaps for the first time. Mic drop.
Empowering.
Yeah, very empowering. Feeling safe would replace all the fear of potential and condemnation that forced you to behave like such a good little family member.
Feel his humor in that last
I
sentence.
do too.
I can hear him saying that.
Yeah. And I can hear my thinking as when I was younger, like I'm the oldest, so I always had to be the good one, and I always had to be the smart one, and I'm glad I let go of that and can just be me.
That's a feat.
Yeah.
Something
Good.
to be proud of, 100%.
It is. Without this excuse, what alternative thoughts would you have? Your new thoughts would be based exclusively on the best way to conduct your life, since you wouldn't be able to enjoy the family drama excuse. You'd think, I'm in a position to ask anyone I love for his or her opinion, and I can accept or reject that advice without any negative repercussions coming my way. I'm free to practice any religion I choose or none at all. I'm free to date, marry, or cohabit with whomever I choose. I'm free to pursue any line of work, live in any location, and just plain live my life. And all of my family members love me and support my choices. This doesn't need to be a fantasy, it's your mind, and you have the freedom to fill it with the thoughts you choose. This new way of thinking is immediately available to you, just as soon as you do an Excuses Begone makeover on this old belief. I love it. That is really cool too, when you are allowed the freedom to pick anything that you want to do for a job or anything that you'd love to go to school for or whatever. When you are younger, there are, like in my generation and the generations before me, especially like my mom and dad's generation, they always thought they had to be who their parents wanted them to be and who they had to do the kind of work that they thought their parents wanted them to do. And you still see that some, but it is so cool and freeing. And I had that experience to be able to pick whatever I wanted to do. I didn't, and sometimes I wish I would have gotten a little more feedback, but I got to do whatever I wanted. I wasn't told, oh, you need to do this. My mom was a hairdresser, and her dad was a barber, and my aunt was a hairdresser. They didn't tell me, oh, you need to do this. Although two of my two sisters did do that, but they weren't told they had to. It was what they wanted to do. So it's cool, and it's so freeing when you know that as a young adult, that you have a wide open space of things. You don't have to do what your parents did,
right,
or what your grandparents did.
Right.
you can do whatever you want.
Right, so figure out
Figure
what do
out
I
what
want.
that is. Yeah. And that's the hard part
Step
sometimes.
one,
Yeah,
what do I want?
right, yeah.
We always bring it back to that somehow, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
All right, so the third question here, or the third excuse here is, I'm not strong enough or I'm not smart enough. This is a real common one, friends.
Yeah, it is.
What if you couldn't have these excuses? If you were incapable of believing that you're deficient physically and intellectually, you'd focus on the opposite idea. You'd think thoughts like the following, which reflect a new mindset. I'm as strong as I need to be to accomplish anything I place my attention on. I'm a creative genius, a piece of the divine creator. Therefore, I have in my possession all of the brain power that I'll ever need to fulfill my desires, to fulfill any desires of my choosing. Before you object to these lofty self pronouncements, remind yourself that the point of this exercise is to help you imagine a new existence without your old mental crutches. Without these excuses, what would life look like? Here again, you'd bask in the exquisite belief that you possess all of the physical and intellectual abilities you could ever need. Your life would flow naturally from a position of supreme confidence in yourself and all of your God given natural abilities. You'd take risks and be capable of trying anything, content with whatever results were to ensue. You'd exude courage because you'd be unable to manufacture doubtful thoughts that manifested as excuses. You'd never compare yourself to others or evaluate your abilities on the basis of what others do. How you measure up to the performance level of others would have no bearing on you or what you attempt. You know that God doesn't make mistakes, so whatever levels of personal strength and intellectual proficiency you possess are absolutely perfect. In short, you'd be content, grateful for who you are and all that you'd been given in both the physical and perceptual realms. And I think that's really interesting. When I was reading this paragraph, I was thinking about, so there was one time I was at work and I saw a fight about to happen. So I sprinted out into the foyer and got between the two kids. And the other people in the space said, "Wow, I didn't know that you could move that fast." And I had no preconceptions of how fast I can move. I used to be a sprinter, and in myself, I can still sprint, and I can.
Yeah.
It's just all about choosing to, right?
Right.
But I didn't let that bother me because it wasn't a judgment. They were just surprised
Right.
at how quickly I can move if I need to,
Yeah.
or choose to, and so I was just like, yeah, I actually used to be a sprinter. We had a whole conversation about it. But on other people, they could have thought of that as a judgment,
Right.
as
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, you're a large woman.
Yeah.
How you can't run."
I wouldn't think it that way, but
Right,
yeah.
but that's the thing. It's like it
But
could be
a lot of
either
people.
mindset,
Yeah.
because what's in yourself. So for me, it's like I am strong enough to move that
Right.
fast. I am quick. I
Yeah.
am quick on my feet.
Yeah.
And that part that will never leave me, no matter what
Right.
the outside might appear to other people. They don't know
Yeah.
what I'm capable of, and I
Yeah.
know I'm capable of a lot.
Right.
I'm stronger than even I know
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's all about your own perception of self. And this kind of brings about a lot about, if you believe you're strong enough, you are. If you believe you're smart enough, you are creating that reality within yourself. And I think this one is a really big one for a lot of people.
It is.
And they limit themselves thinking that they're not smart enough. But you have the connection to God's source energy, to the source of all that is.
Right.
To that 0 point field that has all of the information you could ever need or want in it.
Yeah.
And if there's something you want to do, then you're capable of doing it. Your desires are there for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the things that you need to learn or do, or the strength you need to have, will flow into you when needed.
Yeah. They absolutely will.
So that just popped into my head, and I was like, I'm gonna share that story.
Yeah, that's good.
And we can surprise other people with our capabilities,
Absolutely.
as well as ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not do that?
Right.
That's fun too.
It is.
Without these excuses, how would you feel? The most noticeable feelings you'd experience would be self-assurance and personal pride. You'd have a sense of bliss stemming from being completely satisfied with who you are. You'd feel awe and pleasure about the miracle of your mind and body. You'd no longer cast your gaze outward and feel inadequate by comparison. Instead, you'd look inward and feel peaceful and blessed, independent of the opinion of others. Without these excuses, what alternative thoughts would you have? With no more excuses about mental and physical inadequacies, you'd engage in all kinds of new and nourishing beliefs. Your first one might be something like this: I have all the mental and physical tools I need to actualize any dream I've ever had. All I need to do is maintain my passion, and all of the assistance I need will come to me. Without excuses, there wouldn't be any way of creating obstacles for yourself, but just thinking, I am strong or I am smart, begins to stop the excuse-making modes in their tracks. With the positive attitude of, I can do it. I have all that I need right here and right now. You're on the way to fulfilling the destiny that was in that tiny little embryo that became you. That little embryo knew nothing of limitations, weaknesses, stupidity, and the like. It had a divine nature. It was perfect, and it had everything it needed in the way of mental and material strength to fulfill the destiny that it signed up to accomplish. Once the excuses are gone, there will be nothing to stop you from thinking and acting in harmony with the gifts that you were given at the moment of your transition from non-being to being, from spirit to form, from nowhere to now here.
Mhm.
I think that's a really good place to end this chapter.
Yeah, yeah, that's really
What
good.
more could you ask?
Yeah,
You made it from non-physical to a physical being fully formed, that from that tiny little embryo, a tiny little 2-cell organism.
Yeah, yeah. It's a miracle that we're even here to begin with, let alone all the things that we're capable of.
Right.
It's
So if you're capable of becoming the tiny little tadpole
yeah
to becoming this complex human being, imagine what other potential you have within yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly,
right. Yeah. Yeah. Think of the amazing universe or world that we live in and all of the miracles that happen every single day. It's so cool.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
It's really amazing once you start digging into those positive, amazing stories.
Yeah.
How many there are.
Yeah.
Countless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Countless.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to leave you with a super cool way to continue expanding upon your potential and continue manifesting the dream life that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And so it's in one of our favorite books, Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. If you don't have this book by now and you've been watching us for a while, come on. What are you waiting for?
Right.
Next Tuesday? No. Let's go. Get the book. It's amazing. And no, I don't get commissions on it. I don't sell it. So you might benefit Esther, which is fantastic. I'm happy with that. She's a wonderful human, which I appreciate.
It is amazing.
So the process we're going to talk about to kind of help you along with this potential journey that you have is process number 10 in the book Ask and It Is Given. That's on page 211 if you have this version. And it's called the placemat process. A super innocuous name for an incredibly powerful experiential experiment.
Yeah.
Okay. So when to use this process, which is, we talked about being an overwhelm is a big one of this.
Yeah.
So when to use this process, when you want to more effectively utilize your universal manager, when you want to create your own reality more through the flowing of energy, when you want to create your own reality less through the offering of your own action, when you feel you have too much to do, when you want more time to do more things that bring you pleasure, which is all of the things that we've been talking about, all of the set points we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So this is a wonderful process. I don't think this one is very long. Okay, good. So the emotional set point range is between passion, which is all the way up number 2 on the scale, down to 11, which is overwhelmment, which is what we said. We're going to help you with when you feel overwhelmed and there's too much to do.
Yeah.
So, as Jerry and Esther's life evolved, and as their ideas and project expanded, Esther began carrying a notebook that contained her list of things she needed to do. The list had evolved to several pages and was comically called, quote, "Things to Do Today." Well, 10 people could not have accomplished this list in only one day. True of most of us, right?
Yeah.
With each new entry to her list, Esther felt heavier and less free. Because of her desire to be of value and because of her willing nature, she had created a huge sense of responsibility, and her feeling of freedom was being crushed by the weight of it. Sitting in a restaurant and waiting for their meal to be delivered to the table, Esther pored through the pages of her list. Occasionally, she would cross off something already accomplished, and immediately, with each omission, she would think of 3 more items to add to the list. As a sense of hopelessness washed through her, she asked Abraham, "What should I do?" "Take this paper placemat," we explained, "and we will guide you. Draw a line down the center of your placemat, and as a heading on the left side of the line, write, 'Things I will do today.' As a heading on the right side of the line, write, 'Things I would like the universe to do.' So on the left, things I will do today. On the other side of the line, on the right side of the line, things I would like the universe to do."
And you could even do it on a notebook or on a piece of
On a
paper.
notebook, in your
Anything.
journal, on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
on your phone, writing app, anything.
Yeah.
I use my phone a lot.
In your notes.
In my notes, but I do have my magical to-do list,
Yeah.
which I have given over to the
And
universe.
that's kind of like this.
It's really similar to this.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different. And I like this for overwhelmment, especially.
Yeah.
Too many things to do.
Okay.
Now, looking over your long things to do today list, select only those things that you absolutely intend to do this day. Things you feel you must do, things you really want to do. Select only those things that, no matter what, you intend to do today, and enter them on the left side of your placemat beneath the heading, "Things I will do today." And now, enter all other tasks on the universe's side of your placemat. Esther looked over the list and chose a handful of things that she really did need to do on this day, and she entered them on her side of the placemat. And then she began transferring her long list of remaining important tasks to the universe's side of the placemat. One by one, she transferred her tasks to the right side of the line, and as each task was transferred, she felt lighter. We explained to Esther that in order to achieve anything, she has only 2 things to accomplish. She must identify her object of desire, and then she must get out of the way of letting it happen. In other words, ask, and then find a way of achieving a vibration that allows it, because it is always given whenever you ask. As Esther had been poring over her long list of responsible tasks, she was certainly amplifying the asking part of the equation, but her confusion and feelings of overwhelmment were certain emotional indicators that she was not in the vibrational state of allowing in which she had been asking for, in what she had been asking for. During the process of transferring these items to the universe's side of the placemat, her resistance began to soften and her vibration began to lift. That feeling of getting lighter, right?
Yeah.
And while she did not realize it in that moment, her point of attraction had shifted, and she had begun immediately to allow the realization of her desires. What Esther experienced in the next few days left her feeling amazed. Not only was she able to easily accomplish her own short and manageable list, but the items on the universe's side of the placemat were accomplished too, without requiring Esther's time, attention, or action. People she had been unable to reach by telephone called her. Employees on her staff felt inspired to assist in some way, and they would accomplish something that was on Esther's list and then report it to her after it was done. without Esther's attention or request. Time seemed to stretch to allow more to be accomplished, and her timing with people and places and traffic improved dramatically. The placement process caused Esther to focus her desires more specifically and, for the first time, to release her resistance regarding the same. For when you ask, it is always given, but you do have to let it in.
Yeah. That's the key. Allow it in.
Allow it in. And that's the thing. When you say, these are things I have to do, and I give the rest to the universe to begin to accomplish until maybe I can come around to them.
Right.
You release resistance on those things that you need to accomplish, which allows them to begin to roll into your experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes so much sense.
You get back in the flow.
Right.
It's amazing how well this works.
Yeah.
This when we first did this process, and I think we actually did one of these on like a best life call.
Probably. Yeah.
I felt so amazing afterwards. I was like, this feels good.
Right. And it's just releasing that to the universe and knowing you don't have to worry about it right now. You can get the things done that you know you can, and maybe you'll get to a couple more, but you don't have to worry about that.
Right. And things are lining up for more things to be accomplished for me or with me in the future.
Yeah.
Whether it be the immediate future or a few days down the road or a month or whatever, doesn't matter, because I'm not worried about that part in that moment. I'm just worried about, this is my task. This is the universe's task right now.
Yeah. And it's crazy how that stuff on the universe's side gets easier to get done or gets magically done. You know, it like your magical to-do list.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens when we are in that flow and not thinking about it in a negative way where we were before when we were overwhelmed with it all. Yeah. So good.
Absolutely. I love this. So try it. Try this and see how it goes for you. See how much lighter you feel when your to-do list is written down, because I find that helps a lot. Even just getting it out on the paper from my head helps my head to clear from that list. And then the things that I'm absolutely going to do today and the things that I can leave for later that I'm giving to the universe to begin bringing to me, so it's easier too. And I can enjoy seeing the fruits of my labors on my list, which sometimes can be way less than we think. It's only difficult if you think it is, right?
It is. Yeah, it's so good to have these tools and to use them in our daily lives, and it just makes life filled with more joy.
Yeah, try it tomorrow.
Right.
Make your to-do list today, and if your to-do list is your job today is to relax and everything else on your to-do list is for the universe, that's perfect too. Do that.
Yep.
Do what feels best to you.
You will never regret doing this, for sure.
Yeah, this exercise is definitely one of my favorites. This one, like I said, this one and the magical to-do list are very similar. And that's why I love it.
So good. All right, Carissa, where can we find you on the wonderful world of webs?
On the wonderful world of webs, or interwebs, as we might say. You can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. You can also find us together on Facebook at Our SoulSpace. We are also on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast, which is probably where you're watching this if you're hearing these words at the moment. And you can find me on my Square site, which is also on my Facebook page, hopefully, if they didn't delete the things, because Facebook's weird. But my Square site is light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Bunch of dashes in between, light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Good luck. I appreciate all of you that find me and contact me for stuff. Or you can comment below this video. I'll find you that way too.
Yeah.
I check our YouTube.
You can always send her a message and find her that
I check our YouTube. Tracy,
That's awesome.
what about you? Where can people find you if they want to dig a little deeper?
I am at inspiredsignals.com. Easy peasy. All my links are there. I am also on Facebook and Instagram at Inspired Signals and Inspired Signals Studio. That's it.
Right.
And at YouTube on SoulSpace Podcast.
It's SoulSpace Podcast.
And at SoulSpace Podcast on Facebook. Yeah, we're both there.
We are.
Find us anytime, look us up, send us questions, send us comments. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. What themes do you want to see us do? We want to hear about that. So if you want to send us a comment, tell us, what do you want to learn about? What do you want to expand upon? What theme do you think would be really fun for one of our months this year? We're interested in hearing your opinions.
Yes.
And we will either accept or reject them based on what we feel at the moment. We love you, you know it.
Yes. Yes. And we like to have fun. So
Yes.
life doesn't have to be so serious.
No. And we all want to learn and grow together. And
Right.
that's what this is really about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will see you next time. Same place.
Bye.
Bye-bye.